Tony, this is Matt. Just overall thoughts on how the offense played tonight.
I thought we right out the gate took control of the game. Played with some pretty good precision and rhythm, being able to kind of run and pass in the situations that we wanted to. Then we had that one situation where the one drive where we had the backup and we had the punt. Thought we should have, kind of did a better job running the football in that situation, so that we didn't have to, throw the ball on 3rd and 7. But other than that, I thought that DJ responded, played the way, and managed the game the way that we needed him to. Obviously, there's a couple throws that he'll clean up, as he's going forward. I thought the backs ran hard. It was good to see Kobe and Shipley get in there and run hard. The only disappointment really is the turnovers. We had 3 turnovers, and one was on the screen. We threw the ball high and it got tips or picks. Then we had a guy trying to make a play, probably going to convert that 3rd down, tries to cut back, doesn't have proper ball security, put the ball on the ground. And then anytime you overthrow the ball, letting Tyson, run the offense, he made the right read, had a conversion. I just got to give the guy an opportunity to make a play. So really, protection was good. Didn't give up any sacks. There were a couple of times where the quarterback had to move in the pocket with some of our play action stuff. But overall, just pleased with the way the guys responded. They bounced back, did what we asked them to do, and really just kind of set the floor for where we need to go moving forward. And now we're trying to build on that and stack and get to where we play our best.
Tony, just what did you think overall of the offensive line play in the running game, and then the way the running backs, it looked like maybe they did a better job of kind of seeing some cutbacks and finding some holes?
Right. I think just, for the running backs, they got opportunities to touch the ball and get into a rhythm. It's a rhythm position. It's hard to, to start seeing things and feeling things if you don't have repetition at that. So pleased with those guys. And it looked like from where I was watching, they had a one-cut mentality. Saw a new line of scrimmage, on a lot of plays. So I'm anxious to watch the tape just to see exactly how that happened, how that created it, how effective we were with some of our double teams and snapping off. But overall, we only had 3 negative yards rushing, and that was on one of those from Will Taylor. I think he pulled the ball on one and got stopped. So overall, we rushed for 240 yards. We was able to kind of run it when we needed to run it when we wanted to run it. So I was pleased with the offensive line and how they allowed us to be able to do that.
I don't think Linjay got many carries. I know he started, but didn't get a whole lot of playing time in the middle of the game. Anything you can explain or share on that?
Biggest thing for Linjay, him and Coach Spiller, are working to get on the same page. And again, Coach Spiller's running that room. I give him the autonomy to run the room, and he bases it, throughout the course of the week with everything, that's involved. So we'll have discussions on it tomorrow, but there wasn't anything major that came up that I can remember on the headsets. It's just Linjay and Coach Spiller, creating that chemistry and cohesion that they need to have. But then also too, it's got competition. Man, you watch Kobe run, you watch Shipley run. They're a little different type of runner. And then obviously they got off to a good start. And so you like to feed the hot hand when you can.
Tony, this is Larry Williams. Just some of DJ's rough edges, I guess, with some of his missed throws, is that surprising to you, or is that something that maybe he's been ironing out coming into the season?
No, I think that some of those were throws on the run, which are hard to make, especially when the receiver's moving away from the quarterback and he's moving off the launch point and he's on the run. So I'm nothing to worry about. But again, you got to continue to go out there and play. And through experience, those things will sharpen up.
Hey, Tony, Lawton Swan, how difficult is it for a young quarterback to work through progressions and that type of thing, especially when you're talking about in-game action?
It starts with practice, but at the same time too, it's hard to duplicate, the exact looks that you're going to see, especially when you start working, versus your look squad. You're trying to recreate, but it's not going to be the same speed. And it may not be exactly how it looks. And so again, pre-snap recognition is key. Being able to anticipate. You saw if you watched the game, they were doing a lot of trying to disguise early on, with 2 safety stuff, and they were spinning one way or another. And again, as a quarterback continues to see that, then that starts to slow down to him. And then when the game starts to slow down to him, he's able to process all the information and the reads quickly, a little bit quicker.
Coach Elliott, Rob Gilchrist, WCRS 1450 AM, 90.5 FM. What are your thoughts on the game? Good balanced attack, 504 yards, kind of balanced between the passing and the running. What were your thoughts on how the young players playing their first time, especially the freshmen here in Death Valley?
Man, as you bring that up, mentioning Death Valley, got to give a shout out to the fans, man. How cool was that to be back in the Valley with a packed house? And, we got an unbelievable fan base. They show up regardless of who we're playing. And a lot of these guys, some of these young guys didn't even get to play, a high school season. And then the guys that were here last year that were young guys, they hadn't been in an environment, like Death Valley. And so it was just awesome to see those guys get out there and experience that. I think that all of us, coaches, players, fans, everybody in this country has been waiting for the moment to get back into packed stadiums, and just the pageantry of college football and just what it means to everybody. So that's cool. And then to see the young players go out there and when we put them in the game, I thought they did a good job. And as we got down the line, there were some guys that may not have had as many reps in practice, that we played later in the game, but coming out of half really challenged those guys to put together a scoring drive and to see Tyson go in there. And I thought he managed the game really, really well. Obviously, he'll want that throwback that he overthrew for the interception, but I thought he did a good job of managing the game. Same thing with the second offensive line. When they went in there, we were still able to run the ball, still able to put together some drives. And then they're late at the end. Obviously, we got a ton of guys, going in there. Some of those guys are scout team guys that didn't get as many reps. And so obviously, they'll have to learn, quickly, on the run with the game action.
Tony, Gavin Oliver with the Clemson Insider. Along those same lines, could you speak specifically on the performances of Will Taylor and Will Shipley and what you saw from those guys today?
Man, I hate that we had that penalty on Will Taylor. Man, that thing was that first touchdown run that he had with that got called back. Man, that was a thing of beauty. But coaches said it all the time, and now everybody's getting to see that young man is electric. Talking about on offense, but look at him as a punt returner. Man, he's going out there catching the ball. 51-yard return, taking a hit on the sideline, keeping his balance. So I think that we all know, he's a very, very dynamic athlete and always trying to find ways that we can incorporate him into the offense. So didn't get to play true quarterback as much. It was more of the Wildcat situation. But I thought he did things we needed him to do in that situation. And then who was the second one you asked me? You asked me about Shipley. Taylor, was it Shipley?
Yeah, Shipley, that's right.
Yeah, Shipley. He's just been doing what Shipley's been doing since he got here. In the spring, he was able to pop some big runs. The biggest thing for him is just he needs just repetition. Same thing with Kobe. Those guys just need reps and opportunities, to go in there and get a feel for the game, and once they get a feel for the game, then it's going to sharpen their vision to be able to see some things. And then now they can transfer what we were talking about on film. Now they've been able to go and create some muscle memory through the repetition. So I thought he did a good job, found some big runs, ran tough down there on the hillside going in for a touchdown. So proud of him and just excited to see, how he's going to continue to grow.
Hey, Tony, this is Anna with Clemson 24/7. Seemed like a few of the incompletions from DJ were high. Is that just a result of missed throws or touch or, I guess, getting on the same page as a receiver?
We'll go back and we'll look at that and try to process and figure out, what that is. We haven't had a problem, with many high balls up to this point. The one that for the interception, obviously he's trying to throw it through a little bit of trash. You got D lineman rushing, you got lineman getting out on the screen. So that's probably more just of a touch issue coming off of a fake. Some of the other ones were on the run where we missed a couple. So we'll go back and we'll look at his fundamentals the best we can on tape. And I know Street will do a great job of analyzing that, have a conversation with DJ, and we'll continue to work on making sure that we can correct whatever the issue may be.
Tony, was it nice to see? I'm sure it was, but just seeing Justin get back in the end zone, catching that pass, and then I think DJ looked kind of over the middle on that one and went through his progressions a little bit and found him kind of in the corner. Can you take me through that play?
Yeah. So first of all, it's great to see Justin Rosh get into the end zone, and we all know that he didn't have his best game last week, but he responded and came back and played well. And just overall, the young man, what he's been through over the last 20 months, and to be able to see him, just play football. You're talking about a young man that had an injury and a surgery that maybe 50-50 at best that he was going to play football ever again. And now to see him back in the Valley, catching a touchdown. And DJ, when we give him time, he can make his progressions, and find his receivers.
Take one more for Coach Elliott.
Hey, Coach, this is Tyler Butler with Sports Coach of Sports Media. Starting your career off at South Carolina State, can you talk about what it's like playing against that school and what type of impact that Coach Buddy has had on your life?
Yeah, so everybody knows that Coach Pugh took a chance on me. You know, I was an engineer, kind of looking for a career change, coaching a little bit of high school ball. You know, I just finished my first spring season with Easley High School, and you know, he took a chance on me. And so for that, just him in general, man, I'm indebted to him for life because he believed in me when the outside world probably would say, well, what are you doing? This guy has no coaching experience, but he believed in me, and I appreciate that. And then he challenged me, you know, to grow, you know, to be a person of integrity, to be a person of character, you know, to think beyond my circumstances. And so I appreciate that about him. And that's what he instills in all of those young men. And that's what he means to that community, to that university, and to so many young people whose lives he's impacted. So I know that he impacted my life in just a year and a half, and I was a coach on his staff. I can't imagine, you know, the impact that he's made on the countless number of players that he's been able to coach and mentor for 3, 4, 5 years of their career. And to play those guys and to see those guys, you know, I understand, you know, having coached at a Furman, having coached at a South Carolina State, you know, those guys all dreamed of playing, you know, in an environment like Death Valley week in and week out. So it's really, really cool to see those guys just have an opportunity to experience it, man. They work just as hard. Those coaches down there put in just as many hours as we do here at Clemson, but they don't necessarily have all the other things that come with it. And so for those guys to be able to coach in a game like this, the players to be able to play in a game like this is really special. And I'm appreciative of the opportunity just to be a part of it. And told Coach Pugh, you know, how much I appreciate him, and without his belief in me before anybody else, I wouldn't be, you know, talking to you guys today from Clemson.